I grew up in a community where beauty was never one note. We had every shade of brown, every texture of hair, every pattern of features, and all of it felt familiar, natural, and ours. But there was one kind of beauty I noticed early, long before I understood how the world talked about it. Red hair, not auburn, not chestnut, but that bright, unmistakable, flame-colored red. The kind that looks like someone is carrying a piece of the sun with them. And then there were the freckles. Those soft, scattered constellations across cheeks and shoulders. I never saw them as something to hide. To me, they look like artwork, as if someone had been born already decorated, already marked with quiet brilliance. So as a child, I admired it. I thought it was rare. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was something people would be proud of, which is why, as I grew older, I found myself confused. Because I began to notice that the very people who had this beauty were often teased for it. I saw it in movies. I heard it in jokes. I read it in comment sections. And whenever someone was upset with a redhead, they didn't address the disagreement. They went straight for the hair, straight for the freckles, straight for the most visible part of them. And I remember thinking, why attack the very thing that makes them extraordinary? Because in my world, red hair was never strange, it was never a punchline, it was never something to correct or conceal. Some of us were even born with it. Reddish curls that later deepened into brown or black. No one mocked it. No one whispered about it. No one tried to hide it. So when I became an adult and saw red-headed women dyeing their hair darker just to blend in, or covering their freckles because someone convinced them they weren't beautiful, I felt a quiet sadness. Because from where I'm standing, you look like fire in human form. You look like a sunrise that learned how to move. You look like a rare living masterpiece that the world should be grateful to witness. And maybe that is why I'm speaking now. Because sometimes it takes someone from a completely different culture to look at you and say, you do not need to shrink. You do not need to apologize. You do not need to hide the very thing that makes you unforgettable. From where I'm standing, you are extraordinary. And it is time someone said that out loud. I remember being young and seeing a red-headed girl in the grocery store, standing beside her mother, hair glowing under those harsh fluorescent lights like it refused to dim for anyone. And I remember thinking, she must know she's beautiful. Because how could she not? How could anyone walk around carrying that kind of light and not feel chosen by it? But then I got older and I started hearing the comments, the quiet jokes, the throwaway lines, the little stings people pretend are harmless. I watched kids tease a boy on the playground, not because he did anything wrong, but because his hair was brighter than theirs. I watched girls in high school pull their sleeves down over freckled arms as if they needed to apologize for the constellations they were born with. And I kept thinking, this doesn't make sense. Where I come from, we don't hide the things that make us stand out. celebrate them, we protect them, we teach our children to walk with their heads high when the world tries to shrink them. So seeing redheads shrink themselves felt like watching someone dim a flame that was never meant to be quiet. And maybe that's why I'm speaking now. Because I've seen too many people taught to be ashamed of the very thing that makes them unforgettable.
Oh, 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 oh. A is for amber, the glow I carry without trying. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. B is for bold, even my silence stands out. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. C is for constellations, galaxies resting on my skin. Oh, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. D is for different, the kind people remember. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. E is for electric, I spark without effort. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. F is for fire, the kind I never had to earn. Oh, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. Oh, D is for glow, the one they can't dim. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. They talk because they notice you. They joke because they can't ignore you. They point because your presence is louder than their words. They tease because your light reminds them of their shadows. They stare because you shine in a way they don't understand. They reach for you because they can't match you. They speak on you because they can't stop seeing you. And every time they try to shrink you, every time they try to name you, every time they try to dim you, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. Whoa, 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 oh, oh, whoa, 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 oh, oh. H is for heat, warmth in every step I take. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. I is for iconic, 1 in 100, 1 in a million. And freckles are my birthright. J is for joy, freckles that smile before I do. Freckles are my birthright. K is for kaleidoscope, beauty that shifts with the light. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. L is for light, the kind that doesn't ask permission. Freckles are my birthright. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. M is for magic, everyday brilliance in plain sight. M is for natural, nothing about me is artificial. O is for orange gold, the shade the sun beats. P is for power, quiet, steady, undeniable. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. They talk because they notice you. They joke because they can't ignore you. They point because your presence is louder than their words. They tease because your light reminds them of their shadows. They stare because you shine in a way they don't understand. They reach for you because they can't match you. They speak on you because they can't stop seeing you. And every time they try to shrink you, every time they try to name you, every time they try to dim you, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. Q is for quirk, the uniqueness that makes me unforgettable. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. R is for rare, and rare has always meant valuable. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. S is for sunrise, I look like the morning arrival. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. T is for treasure, the kind people overlook until it's shallow. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. U is for undefeatable, there is no second me. V is for vivid, the color of my presence. They talk because they notice you. They joke because they can't ignore you. They point because your presence is louder than their words. They tease because your light reminds them of their shadows. They stare because you shine in a way they don't understand. They reach for you match you. They speak on you because they can't stop seeing you. And every time they try to shrink you, every time they try to name you, every time they try to dim you. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. W's for wildfire, beauty that spreads without apology. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. X is for X Factor, the thing you can't teach or copy. Oh, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. Oh, my red hair and freckles are my birthright. Y is for yes, the answer to whether I'm enough. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. Z is for zero, the number of reasons I ever needed to hide. Now I know the tools for empowered resilience. Next time I will react much differently. They joke because they notice you. They joke because they can't ignore you. They point because your presence is louder than their words. They tease because your light reminds them of their shadows. They stare because you shine in a way they don't understand. They reach for you because they can't match you. They speak on you because they can't stop seeing you. And every time they try to shrink you, every time they try to name you, every time they try to dim you. My red hair and freckles are my birthright. Oh, oh,